Hello, and welcome to Writer Rant, author advice in 5 minutes or less, because I have to get back to writing and so do you. So, like I said in a few of the past episodes, I read 100 books in 2017. Now, not all of them were great. Some of them were subpar, some of them were terrible. Some of them I didn't even finish. But in all those 100 books, there was one thing that really kind of distinguished between the really good books and the really bad books. And that comes down to why. So, when you've got a book, and you have a plot, and you have characters, and you got setting and all that, the main question you need to be answering continually as you're going through the plot is why. So, when you have characters who have motivations, it's like, alright, if the motivations are good, they have a good why. They have a good, okay, here's why they're doing this. Here's why this scene is here. And those kind of books, those are great books because it's just driving forward. Like, okay, hey, yeah, this is really neat. I want to figure out the answer to the why as a reader. And so when you're writing, you got to think in your head, it's like, why is this scene here? If it doesn't have a point, they get rid of it. I mean, a lot of books, it's like, okay, so you got all this fluff to make it this huge tome, like, oh, look at this big book that I wrote, you know, it's all pages and words and stuff like that. And, you know, that's great, but if it's just fluff, then it's like, well, did you really need to do that? So for instance, there was a book that like I'm kind of on the fence on because it had really good action, pretty good characters, although few of the characters were kind of light, like they weren't really fleshed out or well developed. But it kept coming back to, it's like, okay, it kind of kept hammering home the same why. And so there's the other side of the spectrum where it's like, okay, if you keep just pounding your reader with the obvious, like, here's why, here's why, here's why, they get it. You know, you only need to do it like once or twice, you know, 3 times if you're trying to do a rule of threes thing, and your readers will get it. But when it comes down to it, is you need to have a why. And you need to find that balance. Okay, because if there's no why, cut it. If there is plenty of why, you know, maybe trim it down so that it's really focused. Because if it's kind of a, oh, you got to keep reminding them of this, then it's like, well, then it's kind of nagging at that point. And we all don't want to be nagged. You know, readers don't want to be nagged, just like, you know, writers don't want to nag their readers to say, hey, come on, you get it, you get it, you get it. And so, really, a lot of it comes down to, if you have these scenes and they add to a plot, do they have purpose? Do they have a why attached to it? Because sometimes, in fact, some of the books I've read, you get close to the end, it's like, okay, you could have started here, and all of that didn't matter because of this one moment that changes everything. It's like, okay, that's great. So then you use that as saying, okay, I start here, and then I fill in the details that I put in before to add to the why, instead of like, oh, here's this kind of weak why, and then you change to the strong why. If you start with your strong why, then you can go forward and you can fill in all the details that you would normally do in a linear exposition. And I mean, flashbacks aren't that great. I know I've kind of thrown up on them before too. But if they're done correctly or done in a way where it's subtle and they're not even flashbacks, if you just have little mentions here and there, then suddenly, hey, the character gets this depth that doesn't need to be explained in scenes upon scenes before to say, oh, here's why they act the way they do. It's like, well, you know, just a slight word here, a mention of something, and suddenly the why gets a lot deeper. And you don't have to spend all the time leading up to it. So start with your why and keep it simple. So, what kind of books out there have you read that have had kind of loose whys? Like, where is it going? You know, drop a comment below and let us know about them. And if there's anything else that kind of bugs you about writing, hey, drop a comment below and maybe I'll get to it in a future episode. So thanks for watching this week's Writer Rant. I'm Benjamin M. Weilert.